and he is our guest tonight on Westchester Newsline. Shri Чинмој, thank you for coming by. We appreciate it. What do you see as the spiritual mood of this planet right now with all the recent events that have been happening? And
I strongly feel that the world is progressing. The world has a sincere hunger for peace. Sometimes we unfortunately enter into where we wage war and so forth, but in the very depths of our hearts, we are all longing for peace, a oneness home.
I think he's through! Don't try it at home.
It's not the size of the stone that you lift.
Finally, another day, another world record for Shri Чинмој.
Is the reason why you lift that stone.
If he lifted you and me, he'd be lifting 200-pound dumbbells.
And we'll add one.
Well, you know, if you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders today, you're in good company.
Shri is lifting for the world and all of its people.
You ask why did he do it? Well, it's because he can, and that's good enough for me.
You almost feel like gravity stops.
Is there anybody that does good just for the sake of doing good?
There are weightlifters and there are spiritual leaders. Very seldom the two actually meet.
If you become a spiritual person, you could accomplish anything.
The amount of poundages he was moving was unheard of.
But if you were to combine the Dalai Lama and the Incredible Hulk, you might just end up with something like Shri Чинмој.
Shri Чинмој, unsreleavable.
Welcome back. We're looking at the power of spiritual healing. Can this ancient notion be applied to modern conflicts? Or is it naive to think that such archaic beliefs have a place in our technological society? Observe what Shri Чинмој does and a common theme becomes apparent: simplicity. In the colourful acrylic paintings of birds, in the line drawings also of birds, 9 million of them to date, he says, and in everything, strength. A strength that lets this 67-year-old fitness advocate perform feats that most men half his age would not consider trying. Shri Чинмој uses these demonstrations to draw attention to his work for peace. He says that physical and spiritual strength works in harmony to create peace. It's a message he's brought to such notable figures as Mother Teresa, Mikhail Gorbachev, and Nelson Mandela, who got a personal demonstration of Shri Чинмој's ability. Through races, concerts and meditations held each year around the world, Shri Чинмој calls on nations to remember that all people are brothers and sisters, a philosophy that begins in the heart of each one of us.
Nation declares war on another nation, not because the nation is far superior, but the nation feels in the depth of its heart that it is weak. So he who is really strong will not fight. So when we pray and meditate, we develop inner strength. And this inner strength is nothing other than peace. People may misunderstand me why I have entered into the bodybuilding and weightlifting, only because of this.
I first heard about Shri Чинмој back in 1986. He had one of his disciples. She came to our office one day with a whole list of questions. I said, who is this for? And she mentioned Shri Чинмој and what he was attempting to do, getting involved in weight training. And wasn't long before she was back again with another load of questions. He was doing what I was asking her, suggesting he might do, but I could see he was going steps further and further.
When, after meditation in the morning, I take stretching exercise. Stretching exercise for 15 minutes or even an hour.
Everybody who comes through a field like bodybuilding, if they have the opportunity to stand on the shoulder of the giants that came before them, they're lucky. You know, he's the foundation of bodybuilding, one of the cornerstones, you might say.
Bill Pearl's career spanned 20 years, and he never lost. And even in the last contest in 1971, He let the bodybuilding world know through every magazine at that time that this would be his last contest, and if you wanted a shot at him, this was it. And a lot of people went in that contest to try and knock him off, and they couldn't.
I had the biggest chest in the world. It was over 60 inches with a 32-inch waist. And the depth that I had and the broad shoulders that I had, just it created the ability for Arnold to give me the name Big Mike. And obviously to be mentioned with Bill Pearl and Arnold and Frank Zane and so forth, I'm honored to be in that discussion. And then you had Shri, and Shri was in his own category of strength.
Shri Чинмој, he was my friend. There are certain people you just get along with, then there are certain people that you like, and then there are certain people that you love. He was one of the people that I loved.
I am a student of peace. I feel that physical fitness is of paramount importance in achieving peace of mind.
In the hoary past, spiritual masters would sit in caves for 20, 30, 40 years and meditate only for their own realization. And they would give very, very little attention and importance to the body. But Guru got the express command that now in the current day that the body and the spirit must go together.
The fact that he was interested in lifting weights, I found very unique among spiritual teachers. He's the only one.
Age is in the mind and not in the heart.
When he started his weightlifting career, I don't think he had any intentions of following through and doing what he did with his career.
God wants me now to be a weightlifter, and if he wants me to be a runner or tennis player, I will gladly do it. To please God in God's own way is the message that meditation offers us.
And as he saw that he was capable of doing more, he took on more. But I don't think he started out with that intent at all. I'm absolutely positive he probably didn't. I'm almost sure that he didn't.
At the beginning, Guru starts off really innocently, really small, 40-pound lifts. And then before you know it, Guru's doing 75 pounds. It went up really, really quickly.
The heavier your load, in other words, the more you take on, the more effort you're going to have to put out to do it. You're going to have to expend really sincere, focused effort, a lot of effort. And you lift it a short distance because that's all you have to lift it, because that's the idea, and that's it.
My son introduced him at the store. I had a store on South Conduit Avenue. He would say, here's one of our best customers. He buys thousands of pounds of weight. I said, is this guy crazy? What is he doing with so much weight?
I met Guru, as Guru was walking toward me, I honestly saw a light over his head as if it were a halo. And he absolutely glowed. And I was so shocked by this, I didn't know if I was to bow, get down on my knees and say whatever to do. I was absolutely stunned just by him walking toward me. It was the darndest thing I've ever seen in my life. To be a small part of another of Guru's lifting marathons. I can't describe in words of what you're going to see this evening. I've used every word that you could possibly imagine, a positive word on Guru in the last 15 to 20 years I've been involved with Guru. And when you sit back and think that a gentleman at the age of 73 is doing things that I could not do in my prime, or what I even attempted to do back then, and I certainly would not attempt to do it now. You have to understand that when Guru does a lift, he's attempting to do more than he's ever done before in his life. And so he's not playing this game at a low end of the ladder. He's at the very peak of what he is physically and mentally capable of doing. And if you want to see a tremendous amount of success from Guru this evening, doing something he has never done before in his life, the more help he gets from you, the better we're all going to be.
I could have a spectrum, and at one end is strongman lifts. Next comes Olympic weightlifting. Next comes powerlifting, and at the other end is bodybuilding.
Olympic lifters, you have rules. In bodybuilding and a contest, there are rules. Powerlifting, there are rules. Guru had no rules. He did what he wanted to do, and he didn't care what the other person did. He played the game according to his rules, not their rules.
I don't even know if anybody could have done what he did.
Both 100 pounds, the most he's ever done.
From what I know about bone strength, and especially in older people, he was definitely pushing those limits in order to support 1,500 pounds. That is pretty close to the limit that your thigh bone literally can support without crushing.
You got to look beyond the exterior, even what he's doing. I mean, it's very impressive. But what's the meaning of the message? Okay, what is the meaning of all this? Why? It's all about self-transcendence.
I do not have any set goal, but my goal is self-transcendence. I always try to transcend myself. I do not compete with the rest of the world, I compete with myself all the time. I try to become a better human being. This is my ultimate goal.
I'm actually a 6-time Canada strongest man, 2 times North America strongest man. I was strongest man in the world 2002.
Now there's no point going any lower than the world record is. If I got a shot, it's now.
Very brave move in front of his home crowd. 7,000 people cheering him on. The man from Quebec, never been beaten on home soil. Hugo Girard of Canada for the world record.
When I met Shri Чинмој, to me, I must say I was impressed with his lifting, but I was mainly impressed with the spirituality and the energy who came out from him.
I felt peace. I felt something deep.
I make a comment time and time, Shri Чинмој would lift anything that was heavy. Period. I mean, he didn't have to hold it for 10 seconds or 50 seconds. If the thing got up and down and there was air between whatever it was, Guru was happy.
There were some times that I felt alarmed, and then there he was putting himself under that weight, and so it always worried me. I guess that's the mother in me.
For the World Sport finish line, an impressive weightlifting demonstration by spiritual leader Shri Чинмој in New York. The 68-year-old advocate for peace turned to weightlifting exactly 14 years ago. Nine-time Olympic gold medalist Carl Lewis, roughly 90 kilos on a 2,500 kilo elephant.
I'm always up for a big challenge. You never know what to expect when it comes to guru.
Yes, just up. No problem for Shri Чинмој. It's simply a case of mind, or maybe soul, over matter.
Hey, you can't fake a picture. I don't care how much leverage you're using. You can't fake a picture with an elephant. Unless you have a midget elephant. This is a big elephant.
To be lifted was amazing because you really clearly felt the movement. So
satisfaction within.
You're kind of obsessed with Чинмој.
I love this
I've
guy.
noticed the second time you
can't
used
get
this
enough
guy.
Shri Чинмој.
We've noticed.
And people used to write to me and criticize me. How can you give him publicity? He's not lifting in, it's using leverage. I said, using leverage. But with the leverage, you need the strength.
it's a lot of times I say, oh, what a crazy, but how they talked about, the interviewer talked about, oh, how inspiring that was. I mean, so the message got through because it was guru.
I do believe we all have this strength inside us. It's just a matter of getting there.
The distance is short when the load is heavy because of the kind of preparation and focus you have to do it.
My focus is only on one thing, on the weight or on the things that I'm lifting. I do not allow even an iota of thought to enter into my mind.
You know, when I think about people that might be doing things like that, I'm thinking about NFL linemen. But he's so far out of the realm, for example, just from a point of view of age, let alone, you know, body size, that it's a little hard for me to explain. But I mean, the evidence is there, so it makes it very interesting to try and explain it.
My philosophy is very simple. Never, never, never to think of age. By virtue of my prayers and meditation, I am able to bring down infinite grace from above. I entirely depend on God's grace. If you are wise enough, then there is no such thing as impossibility.
Some people just looked at him that he was trying to get publicity for himself or whatever. They missed the point of what he was trying to accomplish and what he was trying to say.
I think he was understood by people who wanted to understand him.
To be appreciated by an organization like yours is a real shot in the arm. But I wish you of good luck and success in what you're doing. It's in the interest of the entire humanity and the world.
You know, you can't just go to a newspaper, TV station and say, I want to talk about peace and compassion. They're not going to be that interested. But if you're lifting 1,000 pounds, there's some interest there and people cover it.
A 70-year-old Shri Чинмој literally lifts people up to inspire them. It's all a part of his Lifting Up the World with a Oneness Heart program. He congratulates individuals for their achievements with his special one-arm lift.
You are part of the spiritual force of love that emanates from God and which will transform the evil of this world into its counterpart.
He's lifting everyone up. It's uplifting to watch him do this. And it's uplifting in the sense that it helps us transcend our own personal limits.
He's a great example for me in my training. I have his picture all over my gym, and a lot of times I don't feel like working out. I just look at the pictures and I'm back to doing my next set.
you look through Guru's career of lifting, when he was younger, first beginning, he did everything, most everything from a standing position because his body was physically capable of doing this. He hurt his knees. He started doing everything in a seated position because his knees would no longer support what he's attempting to do. So then he was lifting a great thing with two hands. With time, one of his shoulders went bad, he was lifting with one hand. When the shoulder went bad again, he started doing seated wrist curls with a dumbbell that weighed 270 pounds. It looked like, which was ridiculous.
But he did feats of strength that would hurt the average person who trained.
Guru did not give up. He worked his body from the beginning I knew him, from standing to seated to only what he could still move, and he still did not give up on life or give up what he was attempting to do. He did not give up.
And I don't think people realize not how difficult it is to lift all these things, but over the period of time.
The fact that he spent 4 hours doing it is an incredible feat of endurance as well as strength.
To have the mental concentration and focus to stay at a peak level for that time, that to me was what was amazing.
So it makes you understand your own potential by him achieving his own potential.
I think Shri Чинмој's legacy in the weightlifting world is the fact that there are no limits.
But the toughest thing at the end, that's what jumped out at me.
Had a small little car, they called it a little smart car, but the thing still weighed maybe, I don't know, 2,200, 2,500 pounds. And the average person would just crumble. My biggest fear was that Guru was not going to be able to do what he was hoping to do. It was a true 2,200 pounds on his back.
He had to lift the car because he had let other people know, gosh, if Guru can lift the car, I can do anything. That it wasn't about him, it was about everyone else.
Well, Bodhisattva is a being who comes back through history at times when his or her influence is needed. And it's to help humanity. And Bodhisattvas take a vow that they will not enter final enlightenment until all sentient beings are saved. And I think Shri Чинмој is very, very much a Bodhisattva.
There was a sort of if there's different degrees of mortality, he was about as high up as you could get.
Never forget this humble man. He was very humble. Never forget him. He loved people. He loved to be around people and to help people.
I have a photograph of Guru in the next room there. There is not a day goes by that I don't wake up in the morning and say hello, and not at night that I don't say goodbye. And like I say, I blow him a kiss every time I walk by.
You said you're an optimist. You're hopeful for the future. Why?
because our source is all illumination. If our source is all joy, all love, all compassion, how can it be otherwise? A day will come by virtue of our prayer and meditation, feeling of oneness, we shall be able to inundate the world with peace and love.